Hello YouTube, my name is Big Boy Snatch on TV, aka Wakanda Snatch One, because I got playing around. As you can tell by the title, the thumbnail, and the video itself, this is my WWE Smackdown review on highlights. So if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys please watch the video from all the way from the beginning or towards the end. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for my wrestling content I do on YouTube because I'm on the road to 12K subscribers and becoming a YouTube partner. All right, go check out my AEW Dynamite review on highlights that I did on Wednesday. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. WWE Smackdown was a solid show, and I give that show a 5 out of 10. WWE Smackdown was live from Hershey, Pennsylvania, Giant Center. WWE Smackdown kicks off with clips of Gunther beating John Cena at Saturday Night's main event. But Gunther is such a piece of trash, and that's all I gotta say. And I'm glad that Adam Pearce stood on business with that too. Alright, we cut to Cody Rhodes and the MFTs entering the arena. Live in the arena, out comes Damian Priest. He says last few days were not easy. He mentions how they were focused to say goodbye to John Cena, say goodbye to the career of John Cena. He calls John Cena the greatest of all time, and they say thank you, Cena. Damian Priest talks about how last week on SmackDown, he and Rhea Ripley got the win against Aleister Black and Selena Vega. He says now they can look at 2026, but as he is talking, out comes Selena Vega. Now Selena Vega is good on the microphone. That's all I gotta say. She says he is such a hypocrite. She tells him thinking Rhea Ripley fighting his battles for him makes him a real man. She tells him that he didn't even get the win. She says that Damian Priest cannot stand the fact that Aleister Black broke him. He made his decision, and now they have to live with theirs, or more importantly, his. Aleister Black music hits, and Aleister Black hits Damian Priest from behind. He hits Damian Priest with right hands, but Damian Priest with right hands. Damian Priest grabs Aleister Black, but Aleister Black with a kick, and Damian Priest to the outside. Aleister Black to the outside, but Damian Priest lands the South of Heaven onto the ring apron. Damian Priest goes under the ring and grabs a table. Damian Priest sets the table up, but Aleister Black grabs his steel chair and he hits Damian Priest across the back with it. He pushes Damian Priest into the ring post, and he hits Damian Priest and he falls onto the table. Damian Priest gets back up, but Aleister Black with a spinning elbow to the face. Aleister Black gets onto the ring apron and he lands the double knees onto Damian Priest through the table. I like that spot when Aleister Black lands the double knees through the table. I like that spot right there by Aleister Black. Aleister Black music hits and out comes WWE officials. This was a good start off SmackDown. We cut to Byron Saxton, who is backstage with Nia Jax and Lash Legend. He mentions how Lash Legend had an upset win last week against Alexa Bliss. Nia Jax stops him, and Lash Legend tells him that no matter how great Alexa Bliss is, she didn't stand a chance against her. She says she was whipping her across the ring, and now that they are done with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, they are moving on. Nia Jax says, and after they are done with the Kabuki Warriors, they will slide into the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match and become champions. Byron Saxton tells him that Rhea Ripley and Io Sky have a title shot. They tell him that it's about the irresistible force in the Budge Bullies. Out comes Asuka and Kairi Sane. A fun start to the show. I am starting to like this Damian Priest and Aleister Black storyline they have going on, but both guys getting the upper hand, and they got me interested. Hashtag SmackDown. But let me tell you something. Now Raw has a better storyline, better than SmackDown, and that's nothing but facts right there. I'm just putting it out there that Raw has a better storyline than SmackDown storyline, and that's facts. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Damian Priest is with the WWE officials. Aleister Black hits Damian Priest from behind and throws him into the equipment. He grabs a shovel and hits Damian Priest across the back with it. Aleister Black with a black mask onto Damian Priest. Kabuki Warriors versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax. This was a decent tag team match. The bell rings, we are underway. Kairi Sane and Lash Legend start the match. Kairi Sane jumps onto the Lash Legend's back, but Lash Legend slams her into the turnbuckles. She goes for a kick, but Kairi Sane moves out of the way. Kairi Sane slams her face first onto the turnbuckles. Kairi Sane climbs the top rope, and she goes for a crossbody, but Lash Legend catches her. She throws Kairi Sane into the ropes, but Kairi Sane with the head sisters takedown. Kairi Sane to the ropes, but last statue with an elbow to the face. Nia Jax is tag in. They double team Kairi Sane in the corner. Nia Jax goes for the cover, but Kairi Sane kicks out. Nia Jax to the ropes, and she goes for an elbow, but Kairi Sane moves out of the way. Asuka is tagging. They grab Nia Jax, but Nia Jax pulls them to the ropes, and they hit her with kicks. Asuka goes for the cover, but Nia Jax kicks out. Asuka with kicks, and she runs to the ropes, but Nia Jax with a pop up headbutt. Asuka gets back up and she hits Nia Jax with the double knees. Kairi Sane is tagging. They land a double drop kick. Lash Legend runs towards them, but they throw her onto the ring apron. Asuka with a running hip attack. Kairi Sane on the top rope, and she lands an elbow drop onto Nia Jax and Lash Legend. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Nia Jax gets Kairi Sane in the corner. Lash Legend is tagged in, and she gets Kairi Sane into a headlock. Kairi Sane with the elbows, but Lash Legend slams her onto the mat. Nia Jax is tagged back in. Nia Jax with a right hand onto Asuka, who is on the ring apron. Nia Jax and Lash Legend goes for a double suplex, but Kairi Sane with a double DDT. Asuka is tagged in, and she lands a dropkick onto Lash Legend. Asuka with an elbow onto Nia Jax, followed by a kick onto Lash Legend. Asuka with a kick to the outside of the head, to the side of the head of Nia Jax. She runs to the ropes. Nia Jax goes for a Samoan drop, but Asuka lands on her feet. Asuka with kicks, and she gets Nia Jax into an arm bar, but Nia Jax gets her up. Asuka goes for a roll up. Nia Jax goes to sit down onto Asuka, but Asuka moves out of the way. Asuka goes for the cover, but Lash Legend breaks it up. Kairi Sane gets in the ring, and she hits Lash Legend with the right hands and a kick to the side of the head. Kairi Sane to the ropes, but Lash Legend with a right hand. Asuka with a kick onto Lash Legend. Nia Jax runs towards Asuka, but Asuka moves out of the way, and Nia Jax hits the ring post. Asuka climbs the top rope, but Lash Legend grabs her. Kairi Sane trips Lash Legend off the ring apron. Nia Jax climbs the second rope, and she grabs Asuka, but Asuka rolls and lands her on her feet. Kairi Sane tags in and Asuka with a powerbomb. Lash Legend grabs Asuka to the outside, and she throws her onto the ring steps. Kairi Sane with the knee onto Lash Legend. Kairi Sane climbs the top rope, and she goes for an elbow, but Nia Jax grabs her and she hits her with a chokeslam. Nia Jax gets Kairi Sane under the turnbuckle, and she lands the Annihilator. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Nia Jax and Lash Legend. But this was a decent tag team match. But let me take a sip of my water. Alright. As they are celebrating, we hear the theme song of Alexa Bliss, and out she comes with Charlotte Flair. Nia Jax runs towards Charlotte Flair, but Charlotte Flair moves out of the way, and Nia Spear and Charlotte Flair spear. What is it? Nia Jax runs towards Charlotte Flair, but Charlotte Flair moves out of the way, and Nia spears the ring post. Alexa Bliss with kicks onto Lash Legend. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair double team Lash Legend. Alexa Bliss climbs the top rope, but Nia Jax drives Lash Legend to the outside of the ring. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair raise the women's tag team championships in the air. Alright. We cut to Jackie Redmond, who is backstage. In comes Kiana James with Julia. Kiana James tells her if she wants to talk to her client, she has to talk to her first. Jackie Redmond apologized and says she normally does not do this show. She asks Kiana James if she can speak with Julia, and Kiana James says that she may. Jackie Redmond introduced Julia, and she tells Jackie Redmond that Chelsea Green wants to hide behind the Women's United States Championship. She says she will take on Apple Fire, but she tells Chelsea Green that time is running out. Y'all, the WWE is disrespecting Julia. Y'all doing Julia dirty, and that's all I gotta say. But if Julia has nothing to do on SmackDown, send her right back down to NXT or put her right back on Monday Night Raw, and that's all I gotta say. That's just my opinion. But Julia deserves the Women's United States Championship, and that's all I gotta say. I do like this tag team pairing of Last Legend and Nia Jax. Last Legend continued to improve, and Nia Jax needed someone like Last Legend. They are really trying to do something with the Women's Tag Team Championship, and I like it. Hashtag SmackDown. So we go to commercial break. They air to sit down. They aired the sit-down interview between Nick Aldis and Drew McIntyre. We see Cody Rhodes outside of Drew McIntyre's house with Nick Aldis stopping him. In the arena, Byron Saxton is backstage with Nick Aldis. He tells Byron Saxton that things have gotten out of hand. Nick Aldis says that what Cody Rhodes did was out of line, but it's out of his hands because it didn't happen at the WWE event. And then comes The Miz, and he talks about Saturday night's main event. He says that he who should not be named ruined it, and he wants a match against him. Nick Aldis asks him if he is against Carmelo Hayes. The Miz says no, but he would like a match against him. Nick Aldis says he knows he means Joe Hendry, but the Miz stops him and tells him not to say his name. Nick Aldis tells Nick Aldis that he wants a match against him next week. Nick Aldis says that is a good idea. He will give Ava a call and speak to her about it. Nick Aldis tells him in the meantime he can just say his name. Miz turns around and we see R-Truth. He turns around like Joe Hendry. He tells the Miz that he believes in Joe Pexy. The Miz looks at him and walks away. R-Truth tells Nick Aldis that the Miz is just mad because he saw his British boss. That, I don't know. Commercial break. Julia, accompanied by Kiana James versus Fire, accompanied by Chelsea Green. I did not really care about this match, but I'm glad that Julia won. This was a god-awful match, but thank God Julia won. The bell rings. We are underway. Julia with right hands followed by a drop kick. Julia with right hands and kicks. Julia with a knee to the face, and she looks at Chelsea Green, who is at ringside. Julia with a running knee to the face. Julia with a snap suplex, and she goes for the cover, but Fire kicks out. Julia is distracted by Chelsea Green and Fire with a headbutt. Fire with right hand followed by a tornado DDT. She goes for the cover, but Julia kicks out. She grabs Julia, but Julia grabs Fire, and she slams her onto the mat. Julia with a snapmare, and Julia with an innovational stretch. She rolls Fire up, but Fire kicks out. Julia grabs Fire, but Fire pushes her to the ropes. Fire with a super kick. She goes for the cover, but kicks out. She grabs Julia, but Julia with the knee to the face. Julia picks Fire up, and she lands a modified Machoka driver. She goes for the cover and gets the pin. The winner of the match, Julia. This was a god-awful match, but I'm glad that Julia won. But WWE is doing Julia dirty. That y'all disrespecting Julia. Like I said before, if Julia does not have nothing to do on SmackDown, send her right back down to NXT or send her right back down to Raw. It's just that simple. But like I said, and here's my thing I want to mention. Why is Rey Mysterio feuding against Logan Paul? We don't need that. And guess what? The Royal Rumble books itself. Showstopper TV said that on this live stream that the Royal Rumble books itself. So we getting random feuds that doesn't even make sense, but the Royal Rumble books itself. And I'm glad I put this out there. And shout out to Showstopper TV for going live on Twitch. I was so happy to see Showstopper TV, man. So Showstopper TV watching this video. Shout out to you for going live on YouTube and Twitch. And that's all I gotta say. But I cannot wait for Showstopper TV to come back in 2026. And that's all I gotta say. Alright, Chelsea Green and Julia argue, but Chelsea Green begins to walk away. They are trying to do something with Julia. Not a bad match between her and Fire, but this was all about her getting a rematch against Chelsea Green. Hashtag SmackDown. Commercial break. The Y6 airs and Uncle Howdy talks about Soul Sequoia. He says that the truth lies beneath the surface, and this image he portrays will catapult his family into a whole new world. Back in the ring, Cody Rhodes music hits, and now he comes into the ring. He says he went to Drew McIntyre's home and things got physical. But Drew McIntyre says that WWE is an unsafe working environment. He says that they are an unsafe working environment. Cody Rhodes says Drew McIntyre was surrounded by MMA stars, athletes, and he asked him what would be a safe working environment for him if it would be a Staples. He says what happened at Drew McIntyre's house is a tenth of what should happen in the ring. Out comes Nick Aldis. He tells Cody Rhodes that Drew McIntyre is claiming an unsafe work environment, and they both know that is this a load of crap. But the problem is that when he showed up at his house and started a brawl, Cody Rhodes made his point of him, and Nick Aldis had to make a bad deal because Cody Rhodes made him look like a liar. He tells Cody Rhodes that yes, he is the champion, QB1, but he is not above the law, and he cannot help him with that. He tells Cody Rhodes that he should have trusted him to get this through the finish line. And now if Drew McIntyre comes back, pays the fine, and makes a public apology, Cody Rhodes will not be able to lay a finger on Drew McIntyre. Cody Rhodes tells Nick Aldis what, and Nick Aldis says he will have to strip him of the WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes says he can guarantee him that he will not touch Drew McIntyre. But in the spirit of all these demands, he tells Nick Aldis that he feels like Nick Aldis forgot who he is talking to ask their mutual friend Wade Barrett, and ask Marty on the camera. Nick Aldis says Cody Rhodes is the one who sent the tweet and changed the game. He is a two-time Royal Rumble winner. He is the King of the Ring winner, unseated Roman Reigns, and he defeated the greatest of all time, John Cena, for the title. Cody Rhodes says he is the QB1, you know what. As long as he has the title, he is the law. And he tells Nick Aldis, his friend, that while he is holding the title, he doesn't work for him. He works for the fans. And Nick Aldis, his friend, he works for him. Cody Rhodes drops the microphone and leaves. He cuts to Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, who are backstage. Ilya Dragunov thanks Carmelo Hayes for what he did to him last week. Carmelo Hayes tells him not to mention it. He tells him that DIY cost him the match, and he doesn't jump people from behind. Ilya Dragunov tells him he doesn't jump people from behind anymore, and comes Axiom. They wishes them a good luck for their match against DIY. Axiom says DIY stole his mask, and he wants them back for it. Alright, solid promo from Cody Rhodes, and he and Nick Aldis worked well together. Cody Rhodes telling Nick Aldis everything he has done since coming back, telling him that Nick Aldis works for him. This was a good promo. Hashtag Smackdown. I seen a dark match between Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov, and congratulations to Carmelo Hayes on becoming your new United States Championship. Well deserved, and Carmelo Hayes got a good moment, and I'm glad that Carmelo Hayes got a good moment. And that's all I gotta say. But y'all should have did the United States Open Challenge match against Carmelo Hayes versus Dragunov for United States Championship. And that's all I gotta say. But Carmelo Hayes, congratulations on becoming the new United States Championship in a dark match against Ilya Dragunov. This was a good moment for Carmelo Hayes. So that's all I gotta say. So we get a tag team match: DIY versus Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes. And in my honest opinion, this was a fun tag team match to watch. The bell rings and both teams begin fighting in the ring. Ilya Dragunov and Ciampa stay in the ring, and Ilya Dragunov with the chop to the chest. Carmelo Hayes is tagged in, and he throws Ciampa to the ropes, and he hits Ciampa with an elbow to the face. Carmelo Hayes with a leg drop. He goes for the cover, but Ciampa kicks out. Ilya is tagged back in, and he lifts Ciampa up, and he throws him onto the mat. He climbs the top rope, but Candice Ray gets on the ring apron and distracts the referee. Johnny Gargano pulls Ilya down onto the ring apron. Ciampa with a knee to the face, and Ilya falls onto the announcer table. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Ciampa and Ilya are in the ring, both men with right hands and kicks. Johnny Gargano is tagged in, but Ilya with a consistent special. Carmelo Hayes is tagged in, and he hits Johnny Gargano with right hands. A springboard right hand by Carmelo Hayes, followed by a face buster. He goes for the cover, but Johnny Gargano kicks out. Ilya is tagged in, and Carmelo Hayes with a splash over the top rope onto Ciampa on the outside of the ring. Ilya climbs the top rope and he lands a senton. He goes for the cover, but Johnny Gargano kicks out. Carmelo Hayes is tagged in. He gets in and goes to kick Ciampa, who is on the ring apron, but Tommaso Ciampa grabs him by the leg. Johnny Gargano with a super kick, and Tommaso Ciampa is tagged in. Tommaso Ciampa with the Project Ciampa. He goes for the cover, but Ilya Dragunov breaks it up. Johnny Gargano throws Ilya to the outside of the ring, and he throws him into the ring post. Ciampa runs towards Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes with a super kick. Tommaso Ciampa grabs the referee, and Ciampa grabs the referee as Carmelo Hayes goes for the springboard, but Candice LeRae trips him. First of all, Candice LeRae needs to mind her own business, and that's all I gotta say. The referee should have banned Candice LeRae from ringside, and that's all I gotta say. Ciampa with a running knee to the face. He goes for the cover, but Carmelo Hayes kicks out. Johnny Gargano is tagged in, and they land a fairy tale ending. Johnny Gargano goes for the cover, but Carmelo Hayes kicks out. Ciampa is tagged back in. They go for meet me in the middle, but in comes Ilya Dragunov, who lands a running elbow onto Johnny Gargano. Carmelo Hayes with the first 48 onto Ciampa. Ilya Dragunov is tagged in, and he hits Ciampa with the H-bomb. Carmelo Hayes is tagged in, and he climbs the top rope and lands nothing but net and goes for the pin and gets the win. The winner of the match, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. This was a fun tag team match to watch. Alright. We cut to Jackie Redmond, who is backstage with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss tells her that the message they sent to Nia Jax and Lash Legend is that if you look too far into the future, you tend to forget who is standing right in front of you. She says Rhea Ripley and Io Sky have a tag team championship match. And while Nia Jax and Lash Legend think they are next in line, Charlotte Flair says, but they are not. They are in their way. Alexa Bliss says whoever wins, they will be waiting. Jackie Redmond thanks them and leaves, and then comes Jay Cargill. They look at Jay Cargill and they walk away. As Jay Cargill begins to walk, Jackie Redmond stops her. She asks Jay Cargill if there is anything she has to say for attacking mentioned last week on SmackDown. Jay Cargill tells her it's okay. It's the season, and she will say something nice. She says she was shocked to see mention get back up after she got down. She tells Jackie Redmond that her and the rest will take these L's. She is big on charity, and she will give mention some spotlight. After that, she will knock her lights out. Mention comes from behind, and she hits Jay Cargill with the candlestick. In comes WWE security and B-Fab as B-Fab grabs her, and they leave. Alright, so we go to commercial break. So we get the main event of the evening. So we get the WWE Tag Team Championship match. Dexter Lewis and Joe Gacy versus JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. And this main event match right here, it was okay, man. It was a decent main event, but it didn't have no contest. The bell rings, we are underway. Dexter Loomis with right hands onto Tonga Loa, followed by a back suplex. Dexter Loomis with a leg drop. He goes for the cover, but Tonga Loa kicks out. Joe Gacy is tagged in, but Tama Tonga with a right hand. He gets Joe Gacy in the corner, and Jason Mateo is tagged in. Jason Mateo with a right hand. He runs to the ropes, but Gravity with a drop kick. Dexter Loomis is tagged in, and they double team Jason Mateo. Dexter Loomis with a senton. He goes for the cover, but Jason Mateo kicks out. Jason Mateo rolls to the outside of the ring. Joe Gacy is tagged in, and he hits Tonga Loa with the right hand, who is on the ring apron. Joe Gacy to the outside, but Tonga Loa with a clothesline. Dexter Loomis jumps off the ring apron, but Jason Mateo catches him and slams him into the ring post and onto the outside. So we go to commercial break. Back from commercial, Tala Tonga with their headbutt onto Dexter Loomis in the ring. Tonga Loa with their leg drop, and he goes for the cover, but Dexter Loomis kicks out. Tonga Loa with the right hands, and JC Mattel is tagged in. They double team Dexter Loomis. JC Mattel goes for the cover, but Dexter Loomis kicks out. Tonga Loa is tagged back in, and they land, and they double team Dexter Loomis in the corner. Tonga Loa with their running power slam. He goes for the cover, but Dexter Loomis kicks out. He grabs Dexter Loomis, but Dexter Loomis with a super kick. Jason Mattel is tagged in, and Dexter Loomis with a super kick. Joe Gacy is tagged in, and he hits Jason Mattel with the right hands. Jason Mattel with a suplex, he hits Tonga Loa, who is on the ring apron. Joe Gacy with a back suplex onto Jason Mattel. He goes for the cover, but Jason Mattel kicks out. Joe Gacy with a springboard moonsault, but JC Mattel moves out of the way. Jason Mattel slams Joe Gacy onto the mat and goes for the cover, but Joe Gacy kicks out. He throws Joe Gacy to the ropes, but Joe Gacy with a clothesline, and Jason Mattel falls to the outside. In comes Tonga Loa, but Joe Gacy with the clothesline. Joe Gacy to the ropes, and he jumps over the top rope onto JC Mateo and Tonga Loa. He throws JC Mateo back into the ring, and Dexter Loomis is tagged in. They double team JC Mateo. Dexter Loomis climbs the top rope, and he lands a splash. He goes for the cover, but Tonga Loa breaks it up. Tonga Loa throws Joe Gacy to the outside of the ring. Tala Tonga with a headbutt, with a big boot onto Joe Gacy onto the outside of the ring. Eric Warren hits Tala Tonga from behind, and both teams begin fighting on the outside of the ring. So we get a no contest, but the main event itself was just decent, but we didn't get no contest. The MFT gets the Wyatt 6 in the ring. Tala Tonga climbs the top rope, and he lands a crossbody onto the Wyatt 6. Excuse me. Eric Rowan gets in the ring, and he hits Tala Tonga with a drop kick followed by a clothesline, and Tala Tonga falls to the outside of the ring. Nikki Cross gets in the ring, and Eric Rowan lifts her up and throws her onto Tala Tonga. Sosa gets in the ring, and he hits Eric Rowan with the Samoan Spike. He turns around, and Uncle Howdy goes for Sister Abigail, but in comes both teams, who fights in the ring as SmackDown goes off the air. A decent main event. The MFT aren't bad, and they have to keep using the Wyatt 6. Interested seeing these two teams. #SmackDown. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the feud with the MFT and the Wyatt 6, and that's all I gotta say. But I am sick and tired of Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes are feuding. Can we move on? And also, we see Damian Priest and Aleister Black feud we see Aleister Black and Damian Priest feud 3 to 4 months, and that's all I gotta say. But all these random feuds doesn't make sense. The Royal Rumble speaks for itself. Why would you put Rey Mysterio feuding against Logan Paul? That doesn't make sense. But the Royal Rumble builds itself, and that's all I gotta say. But anyway, let me get my opinion what I think about SmackDown. Now, WWE Smackdown was a solid show, and I give that show a 5 out of 10. Alright, WWE Smackdown goes off the air, but like I said one more time, let me get my opinion what I think about WWE Smackdown. Now, WWE Smackdown was a solid show, and I give that show a 5 out of 10. But I did see a dark match between Carmella Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, where Carmella Hayes became the new United States Championship by defeating Ilya Dragunov in a dark match. Y'all could have had this match on SmackDown for United States Championship. But like I said, congratulations to Carmella Hayes for becoming the new United States Championship. This was a good moment for Carmella Hayes, and that's all I gotta say. When it comes to Carmella Hayes, he's him. He shoots his shots. He shoot his shot and don't miss. Carmella Hayes is him, and that's all I gotta say. But that was a good match between Ilya Dragunov and Carmella Hayes for United States Championship. So like I said, kudos to Carmella Hayes. Carmella Hayes got his moment, and now he is our new WWE United States Championship, which is well deserved, and that's all I gotta say. I love Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov put up a good fight against Carmella Hayes. Don't get me wrong, I love Carmella Hayes too, but it's Carmella Hayes' time to shine. So Carmella Hayes got his moment, good on him. But congratulations to Carmella Hayes for becoming the new United States Championship in a dark match against Ilya Dragunov. But anyway, I'm about to go wrap this video up, and I'm finna go edit this video. And I'm going to have an upcoming world premiere for my WWE Smackdown review on Highs at around 5 o'clock a.m. right here on YouTube. So I want you guys to have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang. And I'll see you guys live on Twitch for some Fortnite later on. So I hope you guys will come to my stream and watch me play Fortnite and stuff like that. So I want you guys to have a great weekend. Stay safe and always stay positive. Kept your crew, kept your kings, kept your club. Too sweet. I'm out of here. Gang. Mwah. Bang. Too sweet. Gang.